From there, behavior analytics and anomaly scoring expand detection beyond static rules. Traditional monitoring looks for known signatures, but behavior analytics models what normal looks like and alerts when deviations exceed defined thresholds. This might mean noticing a process writing to system directories it never touched before, or a sudden burst of outbound connections from a service account. Anomaly scoring allows tuning, so alerts rise when probability of compromise is high but remain quiet for harmless outliers. Over time, models learn from feedback and become more precise. Behavior analytics thus bridges prevention and response, offering early warnings that raw logs might never reveal. Extending integrity downward, kernel, driver, and firmware governance protect the code that underlies every other control. Firmware often sits outside normal update cycles, creating hidden exposure. Governance means verifying signatures on device firmware, controlling which drivers can load, and tracking versions through inventory systems. For example, a signed firmware update from a vendor should be validated against known hashes before deployment. Unverified or legacy drivers can bypass protections entirely, so governance must include attestation and automatic blocking of unsigned components. By enforcing trust from the ground up, organizations close one of the last blind spots in modern computing: what happens below the operating system itself. Continuing deeper, runtime integrity and attestation checks verify that code remains unmodified while running. These checks use cryptographic measurements of system state compared against trusted baselines stored in secure modules. In cloud or containerized environments, attestation validates both workload images and orchestration layers before granting access. Picture a container registry that accepts deployments only after confirming signature integrity through a hardware-based root of trust. Runtime attestation extends the concept of code signing from installation time to every moment of operation. It allows real-time confidence that critical components are still what they claim to be, even as systems scale and evolve dynamically. Building further, canary deployments for risky updates reduce blast radius while validating changes under real conditions. Instead of pushing a patch to all systems at once, teams deploy it to a small, monitored subset first. Metrics such as performance deviation, error rates, and integrity alerts from canary groups guide go or no-go decisions for broader rollout. For example, if a patch intended to fix a vulnerability introduces stability issues, the canary stage stops further deployment automatically. This strategy turns deployment into a controlled experiment rather than a leap of faith. The ability to measure outcome differences in the canary group becomes an advanced proof of integrity assurance. From there, outbreak management and surge modes prepare organizations to respond when integrity violations scale suddenly. Outbreaks may involve widespread malware infections or cascading configuration corruption. Surge mode predefines staffing, tool priorities, and containment sequences for such moments. For instance, if dozens of endpoints show identical compromise indicators, surge procedures might reassign patch pipelines into isolation mode and shift monitoring thresholds for high-fidelity detection. Metrics such as time to isolate infected systems and containment success rates track readiness. Practicing surge activation through simulations ensures speed without confusion, transforming chaos into coordinated recovery. Extending this focus on awareness, telemetry quality and coverage audits ensure that integrity data itself is trustworthy. Telemetry includes logs, metrics, and alerts collected from endpoints, applications, and network sensors. Coverage audits measure which systems provide data, how current it is, and how much noise or dropout exists. A system that reports perfectly every day except when compromised is useless. Auditing telemetry exposes blind spots and helps allocate sensors, storage, and bandwidth where they matter most. When data integrity and availability are confirmed for the monitoring layer itself, higher-level analytics become reliable reflections of the true environment. From there, false positive handling and backlog management keep integrity operations sustainable. High alert volumes without triage burn out analysts and dull attention. A mature process classifies alerts by source, frequency, and precision, then tunes thresholds or refine rules. Documenting false positives creates a feedback loop for improvement. For example, if an integrity check continually flags authorized updates, whitelisting the deployment process reduces noise. Tracking backlog size and average closure time quantifies control health. When backlogs shrink, teams can focus on real anomalies rather than administrative cleanup. Measured calm beats endless firefighting in sustaining integrity vigilance. Building on measurement, metrics like mean time to patch, remediation velocity, and burn-down rates quantify how effectively organizations address integrity issues. Mean time to patch, MTTP, measures the average delay between discovery and fix. Remediation velocity captures how many flaws move from open to closed per cycle, and burn-down charts visualize backlog reduction over time. These metrics show whether the flaw remediation backbone is accelerating or lagging. For instance, a steady improvement in MTTP following process automation proves operational maturity. Metrics that combine timeliness with success rates form the foundation of integrity performance dashboards. From there, exposure windows and exploit prevalence link integrity metrics to threat context. Exposure window measures how long vulnerabilities or misconfigurations remain open, while exploit prevalence tracks how often those flaws are actively used in the wild. Cross-referencing these numbers helps prioritize action. A vulnerability with a short exposure window but high exploitation rate demands urgent attention. One with low prevalence but long window may still warrant process review. Measuring both shows not just compliance but relevance, that the integrity program is responding to real-world pressure rather than arbitrary deadlines. Continuing the maturity path, an investment roadmap that sequences improvements by risk transforms insights into strategy. The roadmap should identify which metrics indicate greatest impact for the next dollar or hour spent. For example, if telemetry coverage remains at 70%, investment should target missing sensors before pursuing complex analytics. Sequencing by risk ensures growth is both defensible and efficient. Leadership then sees integrity not as an endless expense, but as a guided journey with measurable milestones. Transparency in that sequence earns support for continued funding and cooperation across business units. In closing, a measurable and adaptive integrity capability is the hallmark of a mature organization. Each advanced practice memory protection, runtime attestation, canary deployment, or metric tracking adds another layer of reliability that can be observed and proven. Maturity is not a final state. It is the ability to keep pace with change while maintaining truth in what systems report and do. When integrity becomes measurable, improvement becomes predictable, and trust becomes data-driven. That is the true endpoint of the integrity journey, a living system of prevention, detection, correction, and proof that evolves in step with the environment it protects. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit DailyCyber.News.